get today? What's up? How you guys doing? We got a Cherokee. A Cherokee. We're going to be doing 20 on the rear, 35 on the front, just like my Blazer. I don't have my chat. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, I do. You guys are just quiet. First, Omar, sorry. Omar the goat. Eric, how you guys doing? Bright and early, 10:17. Young Dexter. Naka. Thought it was Omarth. Omarth goat. It's Omar the goat. I am still trying to wake up. It's funny. 10 o'clock is like my open time, and it's still funny to me that like it's still later in the morning for a lot of people. But I still like it's very much like feels like early morning for me. Gotta wake up. Gotta get that coffee down. I am very happy to have this car here, though, because it is just going to be a world of straightforwardness today. On a Cherokee, yeah, it's pretty easy going through the whole thing. Maybe the spoiler. Oh, look at that. The spoiler kind of pinches in at the top. Kind of like the Kia that we did the other day, the Sportage. So it'll be very similar to the Sportage. But, you know, we've got those ones that are like up here that are just like, oh God, this is going to be a project today. I'm very happy when like we get it done, it's all good. And then when I got something like this, so what are my favorite cars to tint? Less stress. I got a Ram 4500 to do. Nice, very nice. Over here watching Haas tint a Tesla. Yeah, he's got it way harder than me. Can we peep on him? Oh yeah, there he is. Look, we're gonna be a React streamer. Where's my audio here? Is it not even pulled up?
Sometimes
here, let me pull this up over here.
We've had a busy day and I've trenched all of my wet edges, I'll just take my towel and a hard card and I'll that up right.
Where'd the audio? Oh, that was goofy. Oh my goodness! Look at that! Look at that bearded squeegee right there.
Squeegee.
I love it. You know, I do all my Detroit Tint Studio thing. This is just wild to me. It's so cool to see everybody starting to get like their own little jams. That's awesome. She's gonna bottom load this, right?
Not a problem. What these live
Did you
videos
see how elegant? I try not to touch the glue there. But you see that, like, he just did that little, like, flip.
Makes the time go by faster, in my opinion.
A lot of people are like, including me. We're being a React streamer now. Where's my actual chat? Move you guys over here.
Man, I appreciate that.
What are your thoughts on online window tint school? I haven't taken it.
So he's gonna be mad if
I've heard
watch this video later.
I've heard really good things about it. but I haven't heard anything about it.
Definitely was not trying to.
Or I mean, I haven't looked at it myself. Like
Kill viewers,
joined it, right?
pirate viewers, whatever it was called. Somebody blamed me of that on one of his lives. Made the comment that I was not going to have nowhere near the amount of viewers that he has.
I see that.
Followers. Like, yeah, trying to steal your viewers, man. I'm not. It's not what I'm doing this for. Matt, I like Patrick. I like anybody else that does live streams.
Stealing viewers.
All together. Everybody learning, experiencing.
No, how do we say this? It's not. Oh damn! He's gonna do this wet. He's gonna make me look like a schlub here. God damn. No, the whole concept of stealing viewers is just like silly. It's just you just got to be better. You just got to be entertaining. Like that's all there is to it. Nobody steals anybody else's viewers. No, that was really good. See, that's what drives me crazy about it.
Very, very top page. There you have it.
He did that, Jeff Welch. No surprise, because he also, they were partners at Tinter Battle too. So like, it's got that southern thing.
Problem on this side. We'll work with it.
It's that first bit. That's what gets me. It's tough, man. I don't want to like screw him up here, but I've successfully got it from time to time. But it's been very inconsistent. It's impressive. It's an impressive skill, for sure. Much respect.
Awesome.
Should just leave that little corner up there, though.
Super awesome. We're currently trying to find somebody to watch our girls. At least while our 6-year-old is in school. That way my wife can come back to work with me as well. Definitely understand.
Very, very nice. Okay, so we've got a Cherokee that we got to do. How many cars do I do per day?
There we go.
Like 1 right now. I'm having the time of my life doing it.
Matt. Good morning, sir. It was T-Town's fault. That he stole all of your viewers from your page and brought them over here, so I did get a new audio mic set up. I figured you of all people would be able to appreciate it if you're still here. I instead of the Rode mic, I ended up going with the Lark 150 by Hollyland. It's got the 2 mics.
Ooh.
I'll probably have to change out. No, I'm still going good. Oh, I see what you've done there. Okay. So yeah, I went with the Hollyland Lark 150 system for my mic. I come with 2 mics, receiver, all that jazz.
He's got a new mic set up. That's good.
That's what I forgot to do.
Because my problem, let's get my camera set up in the meantime.
Man, I feel big time
My
now.
problem with my mic.
You have me on. Hold on a minute.
Is I only have one,
So this
and it's
comes
got an
with 2
internal
mics.
battery, so if I forget to charge
Matt.
it.
And
I'm
it's,
screwed. So they do all these
so
kits with
far,
like 2
yesterday I did
mics.
a live stream, and I don't know if it was because maybe
So I
it
could
was the
have
very
one in
first
one
use I got
kit,
out of it.
or one waiting
I
on
don't know.
standby for charging,
But it
and
only
the other
lasted
one
for 2 hours
active.
and 20 minutes in the stream.
Would fix all my
So
problems.
far, this one has been running for an hour and 45 minutes, and I still got 3 bars of battery life on the actual unit.
Nice.
And these things are, I don't know how big the road is. I didn't look at the size comparison. But just to put it in perspective, here's a regular Tri-X. How big the mic is. So, anyways, it's got this cool little thing, little charger box. The receivers.
That's how you
the
measure
transmitter's
things. You use the
supposed to
Tint
have
was Tri-Edge.
4 hours of battery life.
But yeah, you guys should,
The
if you haven't,
receiver is supposed to have 7 hours of
definitely
battery
check
life.
out Haas's stream.
And supposedly,
He does good work.
The box, the charging box, should be able to charge all 3 pieces 2.5 times. So, wanted to do the math on that. More than welcome. I don't know how big time I feel right now. If I'm still being streamed on, that's awesome. It got me shaking a little bit too.
All right, let's see.
So yeah, I plotter cut these, any frameless window, and I extend them by a little bit.
Love the squeegee. It might be a custom one from Gasket Pro,
Yeah.
honestly.
So I guess that's.
But I
that's
don't
one
know
thing
for
with the
sure.
box
It's
is
definitely different.
Always charging if you're not using it. So.
Dang, he oversizes that by a lot. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be all set up. I'll know in a second. Do we watch him one more time? No pressure. Teach me.
I do need to clean my tool out. So basically, all I'm doing is getting the last bit of moisture out. Replace my blade. Now, Matt, if you've never seen this, these are stainless blades. Brand new blade. If you were watching, this might blow your mind. Everybody's like, oh, I use a sharp, brand new blade.
And then you dull it.
Flat pressure, not a whole lot of pressure. Just enough to take that super duper sharp edge off. Now I can touch the blade and it won't cut me. But if I
Oh my God, what the
down,
heck?
it will still cut me.
There we go. Bumped a keyboard. We don't want to miss this part. So he's essentially like shearing the film. And I've got it to do that.
And that it's no good anymore. I generally go through one blade per window.
Oh.
A lot of people are like, oh, that's too much blade usage. Yeah.
I might have missed that part.
Expensive compared to what we charge for tint, right? Can't get this one started.
It's
There we
tough.
go.
It's tough to get it started that far down too, right? But that angle, I'm guessing a lot of pressure, and then it just kind of.
Yeah, no blade. Does get it done. What
And
I'm gonna
then
do here
he's
is I'm
not
gonna
trying
just
to round the corner. He's just
start it
trying
a
to do
little
like the
bit.
main parts,
I might
and then
come
he'll go
back
back
to this
to the
edge, you know.
corners. Doing this wet with a dull blade is like anti everything that you would
Find a new
think
part
when
of
you're
the blade.
getting into this. Like the concept is just kind of wild. But oh shit!
sound
Look
the
at
best in the
that.
world, but to me, it sounds a whole lot better.
Mad respect.
Violent.
The noodles. It's so when he pulls the car out into the lake, it'll
The noodles.
float.
Full noodles.
Obviously. What else would it be
Hopefully
for?
they can hear me. I don't know that they can. If you can hear me, full noodles. These windows are tricked. Tesla. Any frameless window, really, you can trick them. You just pop something inside the door lock there, and it tricks them up. Well,
You'll
with
scratch
these
that
windows,
chrome
if they
trim.
are tricked, and you accidentally go to shut this door, you're going to damage the chrome trim piece, and you run the risk of shattering this glass and that glass. There was a guy that posted on one of the videos, I don't remember who it was, but he posted a broken window where he shut the door, forgot that it was tricked, did not have his pool noodles up here, and it cracked the glass. And also, that trim piece will damage, you'll dent that trim piece if you shut it. So, pool noodles are there for one, a visual indication that that window is tricked. And it's also there for a very minor soften. Boy, if I do accidentally shut the door, or let's say I go to close it a little bit and I go past that pivot point and it still shuts a little, it doesn't damage that. That's what the pool noodles are for. After I tint this window, after I finish shaving it, I'm going to put this pool noodle back on here. That way my window can be drying up good.
In a shop of other people, that's especially why you're gonna have it. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to Haas.
Cool, man.
For now.
Thanks for bringing me on your live. Appreciate that.
That was cool. Look at that.
Fun with that Cherokee.
All right. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I thought I got this right. Dun, dun, dun. Funny how that happens. There we go. There's that. And we got that. There we go. Sweet. All right, we got to get started. That was cool. Mad respect. This is why I'm always so... where's the... Oh, it fell. Okay. Nope, we're fine. So I'm always really, like, appreciative and happy to see other people showing their work, because the way that I think of tinting is one way. The way somebody else thinks of tinting is another way. Then when everybody shares kind of what they do, we grow. And we all find cool new things that never thought were possible. So that was really cool. I always like seeing that. It still blows my mind. And then I'll go and try it, and I'll just completely suck. But the little tip I picked up from there is I didn't realize that he was going through basically like a full blade per window, and you can screw up that blade really fast. Should be good. Check, 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 check. All right, let's do this. Any windshield? No. Have you tried the Fusion Redline yet? Actually, no. Not really? That's a good question. I did when it was like super blocky, so I got a bad impression of it. I have it sitting on the shelf. We could do it. We could compare it. I think they nick a little faster. It's very similar to like a Blue Max in terms of like, I think it's like an injection molded squeegee, but let's get started here. We got some work to do. Yeah, so look, see, I already got it set up in its own handle. Might as well pop it in my belt and then give it a test drive. This is a good one to do it on. Maybe one of these days we'll shave our windows. If Haas can do it, anybody can do it. I'm kidding. You know, I give him like there's the crazy it's a small crazy amount of people here that like got obsessed with this whole live streaming tech side of it, and I helped him out with a good part of setting up that stream. He's been running it now for a little while, but so we were talking about the whole RTMP and like he does not strike me as like a super nerd, you know what I mean? And then he's diving into all this. It's like, oh, he's like learning how just ridiculously complicated all this stuff is actually to like pull off. And then eventually he's just like, all right, screw it. I've done this enough. I like doing it. I'm gonna buy the HDMI transmitter. So he ended up getting like the same like $650 transmitter that I got. And it's like, damn, that is commitment right there. Why do you put tape in the seals? Helps keep them cleaner. These ones have felt. So while they're not all that bad, they do have some felt to them. And felt especially is like a key reason why you want to do it. But I've just found it helps with everything. If you want to like be 100% sure that you're not going to have that trash from the sides, just throw some tape over it. Really the sides. The bottom is for another reason. We don't like trash in our film. Because this felt gets wet and starts to like, it gets just messed up over the years. So when you spray it, little bits always start to fall out. It's just an endless waterfall of felt. But you can put out a plenty clean job without it. This helps. This always helps. House wrap tape. Driver/passenger windows are irritating on the Jeep. On this one, they're not too bad. So the seals, I mean, they're very similar to like the Grand Cherokee and stuff. They're wider, but they're not like super tight. There is some paneling that gets a little bit in the way. It's not crazy though. You shouldn't need to take... Had my first big area yesterday. Overextended my heat gun and heated the top part of a 22 compass door panel yesterday. Give the customer a tint job for half price over it. Damn, those are the soft touch panels that will definitely look like there's like a bright white under this black cover. These soft touch panels, it's like a bright white foam. It stands out so bad. I did that on a 200. Damn. Lesson learned. That's no fun. So I had this. Oh, it took the orange peel texture. Oh, I did it worse then. So there was this. It was a 200. I had to redo a window. This is for a stereo shop. Not a lot of space, and it was just supposed to be like a quick in and out thing. So I'm heating this window up, and the way I remove doors is I'll take a heat gun to the inside and just warm up the film, and I just got too close in one spot here, and then the whole thing just went it's real quick, and there's this ugly white foam underneath it, so you're not covering it up. And I don't know if he just lost all confidence in the shop or whatever, but like we set up an appointment for a upholstery company to come out and fix it. So he'd bring the car in, drop it off, they would fix it, and I'd pay whatever the bill was on that, which was likely $200 to $300 at the time. But for whatever reason, like, he just, like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then just nothing ever came of it. It was weird. He never came in. I wasn't there full time, so I don't know if they called out the company and then just, he didn't show, I don't know. But they were scheduling something, and then he just, like, never came in to get it fixed. So, hey. I guess it worked out for me. It's one of those mobile gig things. That's what I did. I had a vinyl guy fix it. Yeah. Vinyl panel repair.
Omar
the
super
goat.
chatted $1.99.
Omar the goat, thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is just like that Kia we did the other day. Like, basically, panel for panel. I forgot to put a message. Oh, well, if you have something, ask away. So close. Not really, just enjoy the stream? Well, thank you. I appreciate the 2. Yeah, on this one, same thing. I can see the dots here a little bit. We'll pinch it against there, cut it, or we'll plotter cut it. One of the 2. Either way, we'll have a really, really good pattern. But we learned the lesson definitely on the Kia the other day. So you can see how with some of these cars, you know, they might be different brands, but when you get to like certain year ranges, vehicle types, there's so many similarities. Like this is literally like the paneling's different, but like window for window, it's like the front doors, the back doors, they're all pretty straightforward. The quarters are really simple, and the back window has a spoiler in the way. Yep. It's basically the same thing. Let me grab short roll. Yes, you have to buy the software separately with a plotter, and you got to pay monthly for it. That's why I'm real critical on plotter software, because it's not like you get a nice database full of cars and then you just always have access to it. You get a database of cars and then you're paying monthly for access to that database, and then also all the new makes and models that comes out. Like there's a lot of work that goes into that. I just wish some took it more seriously. Use Core by Eastman. The problem is it's by Eastman. So unless you're a Lumar or Suntech dealer, they can revoke your access to it after a year if you're not a dealer. I've seen it happen. So as much as I'd love to recommend one of those companies, they're not super friendly. Oh my God, we're gonna do this wrong. This is 20. This is my bad. I'm so glad I didn't cut this yet. This belongs on these doors right here. Yay, we didn't make a mistake. Whew, it was close. So this is 35 in the front. I'm so used to doing like 20. 35 in the front, 20 on the rear. So let me grab my 35. But I do so many, like, you know, front door matches. There's a lot of 35 there. And just a lot of people pick 35. So then my brain is always like, oh, I'll pick up the 20% roll. Uah. To match the back is usually 20? Yes. Don't pull so quick. What now? So on this one, the bottom of the door sills, it's got a little curve to it, so where usually you're fine. You could still get away with trying to do the factory edge on the bottom, but the whole thing kind of smiles at you. Makes sense just to cut a new one. Pull this over, cut this side. back. Training on your way of shrinking the side windows. Definitely need a lot of practice. Yeah, it's easier to, I found it was easier to explain in person, because then I could literally take people's, like, I'd grab their heat gun and it's like, no, right here, and you're aiming at, like, right at the bottom, sometimes below the bottom just a little bit. That was another thing. Some people are just oversizing your patterns. That'll make trying to install them way tougher, yeah. Whoa. Oh, really? That's no good. Canon. This is no video. Oh. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, I may have thought it was plugged in. I guess it wasn't. When this battery dies, this is what powers the GoPro. When this dies, you're not, yeah. No GoPro. No Pro. So, luckily, I keep a spare, and it is fully charged. The main battery will last about 4-ish hours. Hang on. There we go. We have life. Let me plug this back in. I always have a problem with cutting edges. Can you go in depth about it? Yeah, a little bit. I actually stopped halfway. Looked away. There we go. Anytime I pull film back and forth, I get way too much film. Well, then just don't do it as much. We're good. Yes. Let me click here. Yes. So I really don't put out much. I put out like 3 to 4 clicks. So we're like right to this point right here. So I'll put out about that much. See, that much blade. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. If you have a lot of blade out, obviously it'll scrape against those seals, so you can't really put much out to begin with. Oh, I just wanted to pick that up, but I couldn't. And then this is, see, this is what's kind of hard to explain. This is the angle that I'll hold it at, right? Just like a little bit downward angle right there. But I don't, like, one of the big keys, though, is to keep the same angle all the way down. We're just going to start this over. This is why I like the carbon blades a little bit more for this. So I'm using the ultra sharps too. So they've been pretty handy about cutting this. So as I'm going down this whole curve, like I'm trying to keep the blade at literally the exact same angle that I had it up top. It just gets harder when you go into like the mirror and stuff. I should have rolled that down a little bit more. That's what's going on. There. And I'm not afraid to snap off more blade. So if I get to the point where like I run over my film just a couple of times and I feel like I can make this edge a little bit better, then I will snap off a couple more sections of the blade and then I'll go back over it. Because this blade will dull out, like any blade will dull out pretty fast. So you're always cutting at a new spot in that blade. Don't just recut in the same spot over and over again. That's why they're snap blades. There's that, there's that. We'll do it again on the back, because we still got a couple more doors. But really, cutting them out doesn't have to be all that hard. If you feel like it's snagging, get a fresh blade, snap off half your blade, just do something. Wipe off your top edge. And then try a new blade. And then the other thing is the thinner and sharper the blade, the better. See, watch, we'll cut this clean off now. Here we go. The cleaner and sharper the blade is, the better it's gonna cut. So I should get in the habit of just wiping off the top edge of the window before I go to cut it. That would probably help too, because there's lots of dirt that's sitting up there. And when you're dragging across that dirt, you're also dulling out that blade. But you can leave, you know, a fair amount of blade. You can leave a fair amount out and then just keep snapping it off. Keep it fresh. Are these back ones more okay? Yeah, these back ones are flat, so let me fix this. This is like way oversized now because this was not meant for this window, but now it will be. It's happened a few times where I go to cut out my front doors, I have the wrong shade, and then I realize it too late, and I go and try and put them on the back doors, and then they're too small. Back doors are more squared off. What film? Pro Classic. See, we've done a few ceramics. We had a really nice guys, what car did we do yesterday? I looked at it all day. It was very nice. Oh, it was an Audi, the A7. We did an A7 yesterday, brand new, super nice, all ceramic. Today, Pro Classic Cherokee. And I am so happy that I still get stuff like this. Because it's just a nice, calm, straightforward day. Oh, and what was it? Did you? I don't think so. So my seal is this wide right here, like just the rubber area. So kind of a good rule of thumb is like to drag it over most of the way there. And then I'll go and cut the other side. So that's this side, and that's from here, right? This is part of my top edge. So we're gonna focus on this back bit right here. Zoop. Cut that. And we're gonna drag it back over halfway. So now I have about, I don't know, like 1/8 of an inch overlap on this side, 1/8 of an inch overlap on this side. And then I'll pull this down like half inch or so. Make sure my sides are nice and straightforward. And then there you go. On a lot of windows, that's all you have to do. Don't make it too tough on yourself. We're tucking in film, but the more film that you want to tuck in, the harder it's going to be to have like a nice window. Does it matter what side you cut first on those funky sides? No, not at all. The goal is to get a straight edge. What cars do you still cringe at? I don't know. I'll let you know when it comes to mind. There's always difficult cars. So I've got this nice rounded corner up here. So I've got this much played out, just for reference here. This is what I'm cutting with. So I'm gonna notch it here as close as I can get and ride that straight up. It's nice to keep going around the thing and just straight over, so do that if you can. But another way to tackle these too is I'll sometimes go this way, and then I'll go start over here and then go all the way back, and it'll make much less of a round that I have to cut over here. A little cheap for it. But this is the angle. And then, I mean, if I wanted to, I could literally just poke my blade in here and then go all the way back this way. It just makes sense to go this way, and meet in the middle on that corner right there. So any way you get it, that's fine. The goal here, we cut one straight side, then shifted it that way, cut the other straight side, shifted it back half as much, and then we treat this side and then this other top edge. Like this is all one top edge. So now I got this big, like, what about this? What about all that? I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, the window goes straight up and down. Then we cut a straight line. That could be more straight, huh? Better. Finish this. This little quarter round here. Where's my other blade? Give me my other blade. So just do what looks right on it. That looks pretty good. And then I can cut this way. I cut in the direction that's most comfortable. And sometimes it's easier for me to just continue this line going this way, but it'd be really awkward for me to then cut this way. So sometimes I take my pattern, and I just flip it back around the other way, and then I can continue cutting with my strong hand. See? And then we just go that way. Curve it down. And now look, we've solved the equation. That should line up really, really nice on the inside. A lot of it will just get tucked in the sides. And then if you go back over to the window and it looks like it's more rounded than that, then just round it a little bit extra. But most of these corners, they're really just like, imagine a straight line this way, a straight line that way, and then a little round there. I mean, we're basically preschoolers with connect the dots here, is what we're doing. Intersecting lines. And then you have your pattern. So just look for, like, my window goes straight up and down most times. It goes straight up and down. So what parts are not falling out of the window when it's doing that? So that's going to be this is going straight up and down. This is going straight up and down. If this window was then going to do this like big gradual bow curve, like a truck, I'd cut it a little bit differently. But this falls out of my seal. So if I just literally follow this straight up here and here, this is going to be real ugly when I roll it down. So cut this, roll it down, cut my whole top edge, and then just fill in the blanks. The goal is to just get a little bit bigger than the window on the sides and the bottom and exact on the top. That's the goal. So however you get there, get there. Where's my glassy? Where did I put it? I put it somewhere. I lost it. I gotta go grab a junky roll. Honda Civic has a door like that. Mm-hmm. It's a real common design for a back door. My Blazer has it. The Sportage we did the other day has it. Many do back doors like that. Toyota Tacomas for sure. Mm-hmm. Tundras are a little bit even more extreme and rounded. Rams are like totally curved. But we've done lots of Ram examples. I don't want to get too far off track with it. Because there's some that don't have very defined edges on the sides. And they're more just kind of gradually rounded. And in that case, you're like, it leaves some people like, well, what do I do? I hope this guy can get a title for this car. I hope he has one. You know what I've heard with some of these like car buying places? This is like a Carvana. Is that the place like the big tower thing and you can just go buy your car without talking to somebody? And then it drops down out of the sky. Do I have that right? Okay. So I'm just supposed to wet the applicator with a couple of spritzes here. That's what I'm told. Yes, it is. I feel like that's chalky almost. It's probably right, though. Oh, that might be too much then. Car vending machine. Okay. Yep. So there's this one guy that came in, and he was just trying to get his money back or something. I guess it's a really bad thing. So he used a different one, and he couldn't get a title. And there's apparently a really big problem with people buying cars from there that can't seem to get titles for their cars. And then the company does not respond. There's like some big, giant friggin' mess with some of those companies. I couldn't even imagine. Thanks for the love, Matt. Oh, you're welcome, man. That was some proper skill there. I'm definitely jealous. It's one of those things that I've tried a handful of times, and every time I just completely suck at it. So, mad respect. It was like a Carvana, or there was like a whatever the main competitor to them is. I think you try and use DSP like you do dryer sheets. I think that was the problem, because the way I heard you put a couple of spritz on the applicator bag and then you wipe it over so it doesn't seem like you have much at all. But the feel of it, I think, is what throws me off a little bit more, because it feels like, you know, with the dryer sheet and most other things, you want it to be wet, and it kind of like puts a smooth layer over it. The way I describe not having water in that is kind of like chalky, grippy. I don't know, like it, not. Like it feels like you're, like it should be more lubricated and you're not putting anything on, or it's just too grippy. I don't know. So that could be why I have it wrong. But I'd put that much on, and some days it would be great, and then some days it wouldn't be great. Or I'd put on much more than that. Some days it'd be great, some days it'd be really sticky, but apparently that's why it was really sticky. There's just a lot of it. Where is he reading the comments from? I have a couple monitors, and then you guys speak to me. I was thinking about getting one from there, but now you got me worried if I should. Good. Look it up. Because that would be one of those things that you wouldn't know unless you bought it and then looked into that problem afterwards. Just look it up. It was just like, just one of my clients was telling me he's been trying for like 8 months to get a title for his car. They won't respond to emails. A lot of people had the same problem. It was just a big friggin' mess. Text to speech. I like the text to speech. You know, it helps me read comments too. I've gotten so used to it. It legitimately helps me read, because it's kind of like a little follow along. But it also seems awkwardly quiet if I don't have comments read to me, because I kind of get a gist of what people are asking. Looks like the Workhorse 2 has better rollers. I know the Workhorse 2 doesn't have any differently placed rollers, but it's just supposed to be a more robust machine entirely. I guess at this point we can unbox it and set it up. It's been sitting on the other side of that wall for like a month and a half now. Actually, probably like 2 months. What's the appeal, though? Like, is the main appeal of the car vending machine just not talking to, like, a sales dude or anything? It's just like, this is the price, here's the car, take it and go. This is the graveyard right now. It's very much not a graveyard anymore. We had to clean it up. We had lots of people here, so we cleaned it up. This place looks much better overall. Does the Workhorse 2 only have... Oh, does Workhorse 2 have 2 rollers on the sides? I think so. It's in the box, so I'd have to check the website and could find out that way. I'd ask them when they expect the Workhorses to come in, because they had like a shipment of the Workhorse 2 coming in. And I believe they also had, you know, just like everybody, they had everything coming in. It's just stuff gets stuck at the port, and this is with everybody. Everything just keeps getting, like, container ships just keep getting stuck at the port. So, like, people are shipping stuff and then just waiting for it to be offloaded, and whatever estimates that shipping companies give them keep getting pushed farther and farther back. So nobody really has any great idea, because, like, they're like, well, it should be this time, but we're not the people that unloaded at the docks. So this is what they tell us and what we can guesstimate based on what our other containers have moved. But at any point in time, there's like 50 little snags with all these things, and it adds up to months of delays. I saw a video from Kevin, the Workhorse 2 had 4 rollers on it. Oh, well then you know. I have no idea. I haven't unboxed it yet. If it's got some better position rollers, that'll be much appreciated. Why? I don't know. You gotta make that video so I can change my mind. I mean, if it's a better machine and it's only, what was the difference? It was like $1,700 to like $2,000. I don't think $300 is enough to get enough to make me choose the original, I guess. I'd probably spend a little bit extra on it, because it's a machine that you're going to be using. Like this goes for software, this goes for a lot of these things. 150, 200, 300 a month can sound expensive, and then when you have something that basically pays for itself, then it's worth that investment. So like that initial $300 up front on a machine that's going to save you a lot of time, you're not going to remember in 6 months where that money went. So that's the way. I'd check their chat support, though. They can give you a real update. Their customer service is super great. So this is the thing that'll drive me the most crazy. When I put film in my seal and then it grabs. There we go. They gave me a courtesy call and told me if I want a refund. Oh, okay, gotcha. I would check. If it's get the better one sooner versus wait until the cheaper one comes in, dude, I just spend a little bit more and get the better one. Just don't have time. Got cars to tint. We're coming into busy season. Or we're in it. Because then you gotta like wait on it getting shipped over to you too. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes, you know, it's freight shipping, so it might take a week. Time. Use the red squeegee.
DC Customs and Detailing super chatted $5. Good morning, master. Do you shift the film on Frameless windows? Because I always
Super.
cut exact, and when I install I always have overhang.
I don't always, but sometimes I do. So, yeah, you're cutting frameless doors exact and not shifting them at all is, yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of an overlap. So, like the one we did yesterday, where it was completely frameless around the whole window, I shifted those back just a hair, a smidge, like a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know, it was really small. And then everything lined up really, really nicely. On the front doors, where I had this whole seal on the front, I cut it, shift it forward, and then cut the rest of it exact. But you could still cut it, shift it forward, like cut that back edge, shift it forward a smidge, and then cut your top edge. Because, yeah, you'll notice, like, your top edge is rounded. So if you cut straight over the top, as it goes around those sides, on these windows, we're tucking into the seals. We got extra glass. On frameless, we don't have that. So you're gonna have an overlap. So you have to shift the film one way or the other, or compensate by putting it farther down or something. But yeah. But DC Customs, thank you for the 5. Hope that answered your question. Oh no. Just one little guy right here? I can get you. I can get you. There we go. It's like right at the top. What red blade? I don't have a red blade. I'm using the blue blade. No, this is a Fusion red line. Torch the film, torch the window, film will slide better. Not in the sides. I've heard that, torching the window, film will slide a little bit better. Oh God, did this really shift over, or are we still okay? I think, cutting it close. Oh no, I'm just talking crazy. We're okay. All right, a few things. So for the torch, that's mainly like hydrophobic windows. The majority of your window, you torch it, it's supposed to slide better. I've definitely heard that. What I'm talking about is when you tuck it into the sides, and then it just grabs a spot in the seal and then likes to just pinch. It's not going to slide. You got to like free it up. So, okay, so red line, this is a fusion squeegee people are asking about at the beginning of the stream. It's been out for quite a long time. They have like a red, they have a yellow one called the Flat Out. They have Orange Crush, Clear Crush. They have a lot of options. The red line is like basically like the hardest squeegee that they have. I mean, I can push a lot of water with it, but I gotta put a lot of pressure on it. And it just kind of feels like it's too much. I know there's some people that really like the red line. The red line is harder, so they're different materials too. So the red line, as far as I can tell, is going to be like a hard version of a Blue Max. So if you've ever felt the regular fusion squeegees and then you felt this one, you can tell, like, oh, yeah, I know what a Blue Max feels like. This is like a very hard Blue Max, which I think is an extruded squeegee. And then the Flat Out is a little bit softer, a little bit more rubbery. This is I think an injection molded squeegee. So this material is very similar to the Orange Crush material. Yeah, and you can see these little circles here on this. You can generally tell by like the bottom. Yeah, I think this is an extruded squeegee. There's no like injection mold marks on this. So like these feel smoother to the touch. These feel a little bit more rubbery to the touch. Both of them slide great. I really like the Flat Out because it was that kind of mix there. It didn't feel overly hard. It glided really well. I used it for a long time. I really, really liked it. But that smoothness that like the Blue Max and the Red Line and extruded squeegees have, that's really, really nice. Well, then enter the hybrid. You guys got to just pick one up and try it out. This, I think, is the best of everything. It's like soft enough to where you have that same type of like Flat Out Orange Crush softness, but with that same smoothness then from like an extruded squeegee. It's just, in my opinion, it's just everything is really, really nice with it. 10 out of 10. Just got one of my tri-edges from you. One had the autograph. Yeah, anybody that's been ordering the tri-edges, I'm throwing like an extra one in there. Some people were asking for like signed ones. This one is a very special one to the studio. Like there was a lot of work that went into these. Tint Wiz kind of paved the road to make it happen, I think. Because, or else we would just have like nice Tint Studio green squeegees. We wouldn't have the logo on them. So, going above and beyond with the printing on this, it's actually quite a process to get them all printed. So they put like a primer on the material first, and then the primer has to dry for like 30 seconds. And then they have to put it through a stamp printer, and then they have to run it along a conveyor belt to dry. And then they had to do that with 5,000 of them. It's a good amount of work. Each one of those hand printed. Gotta check my package. Haven't opened it to see if I got to sign one. Oh, I hope I signed it. Check it. Let me know if you haven't got one, and you ordered a Tri-Edge. You didn't get one. Reply to that email, and I'll send one out. Definitely an awesome bonus. My order came fast. Nice. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I've been trying to just throw them in with like every order. I've been doing that for like a month straight now. I have to stop at some point. But it was, I don't know. I got to charge for them, obviously, because like it cost me a lot of money to get them all made and stuff, and it helps support what goes on here. But like people that are ordering them, it's like, oh, okay, well, here's an extra one. Thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Didn't make any official announcements or anything, just like trying to do it on the back end. So then if I go over this with a red line, it's a good squeegee. It's just not my cup of tea. Exactly. We'll use it a little bit more. How would it go about getting some Glass Aid stickers? How would one go? Oh, Nick. I'd like to save them. Well, I don't have them for sale. But if I remember, I'll just throw some in an extra order. So if you just order something, and then I'll throw a bunch in. Because those are actual, like, just the product labels. I just ordered 5 rolls of Glass Aid and Blue Max. Has the order shipped yet? No, sir, literally just ordered this stream. Oh, okay, awesome. That's perfect. Then I'm just going to toss a bunch in with your order. Thanks, man. It just helps me keep track, that's all. So if you have an order ready to go out, I'll look out for your name. We'll throw some extra stickers in. All good. I love the hybrid. I'd ordered it because I saw you using it on the live stream. I wanted to feel cool, but once I used it, I really love how it glides over the film. Right? That first bit. But yeah, it's a great squeegee blade. It's just like, oh, compared to all the other ones, this is like a really unique feeling squeegee blade. I haven't found one that quite beats it. And I was using, I really like the flat out blade. I think the flat out blade is probably still my second favorite blade. I didn't think Glass Aid would be as helpful as it was. Did a windshield yesterday without it, and it sucked. Ooh. Yep. It's hard. For some people, it's just hard to live without. When you get used to it, especially, I just, there was those early times, like I'd run out of my own rolls and then I'd forget to bring them in for the day. And then I was like, oh shit. Much like the carpet shield, it's like I have these problems that I want to try and solve for myself. And so I put this out there. It's like, if anybody can come up with another awesome solution, then please do. Because when I was mobile, I just didn't want to scratch somebody's windshield. I didn't want to scratch a back window. I mean, I still don't, obviously. And so, especially when I'm streaming, there's extra focus on everything that I do, whether that be spraying door panels, cutting on glass. And two of the most popular questions were, hey, do those blades scratch glass? And water on the door panels. They're like, oh, you're destroying the electronics. Because when you have an average consumer watch what you do, there's lots of, like, they have their immediate thoughts, like, oh, water and electronics, right? And I get it. And you can explain all day long to each and every one of them, but you can't change the initial impression. Oh my God, I just slipped on my own. This guy, I dropped this a while ago. Ow. I leaned back and it took a trip, literally. Anyways, you can't put or you can't change the way that they feel about that initial impression. So I did everything I could to try and change the whole thing. Yeah, I took a spill, man. So I do this thing when it comes to, why don't you use a stool? When it comes to SUVs, they're more at my height. So it's kind of like in between a little bit, where stool a lot of times isn't quite high enough. These ones might be, though. I guess I could try, but yeah, SUVs just sit up higher, so they're much more comfortable for me to just like stand up and do this. On the car, sit down so you're in a good spot, because otherwise you're squatting, and that's really annoying. So I'll lean back on this part of the door sill right here. And I think just the hose and the tool combined, they both just like kept sliding out from under me. I just didn't notice at first, and swoop. Then I stood up and I hit my head on that. 10 out of 10. Yeah, if you want to just muscle this film, I don't think it doesn't feel like it glides the same. Like, you got to put a lot more pressure on it. I think it's a good squeegee. I just think it's not quite for me. It's just too hard. Too hard. Always nerve-wracking when they stay. Oh, when they stay and not only watch you, but also talk to you while you're tinting. Nothing against it, but it usually makes me take longer. Yep, I don't blame you. Like DW said, unfortunately, I don't have a waiting area available. Can you drop off at the time? So,
Nick Doolan super chatted
Yep, that's true, you will.
$1.99.
Nick!
Matt is now opening a slip and slide in his shop. Smiley face.
True. We are opening up a slip and slide. So when I was wearing flip-flops, I could spray most of this down when it was new, and I could get a good slide from like here to here. It was pretty great. I had fun doing it. Not when it's accidental though. Ouch. Then like your back tenses up. Yeah, you will. That is the downside, 100%. I agree with it. So you can say you don't have a waiting area, and then the people waiting, then like they won't book with you. So yeah, it's that toss up there. Since you're gonna have people waiting then, watching you, you have to learn to love it. But all these little things, I hated when somebody was watching in person, because it's like, now it's their car, right? And they're seeing it happen, water dripping down the door panels, and just like you're extra nervous. It's kind of hard to touch up spots, because whenever you focus a little attention on a spot, like you kind of have some people that hover, and then you do something, and then they come back over, and then they just like, they like inspect what you did even before you're done finishing the window. So maybe try and establish like just a couple things, like, hey, I don't mind you watching and waiting, but just, I need to focus on the work a little bit, so if you could just give me a little breathing room with it, I'd really appreciate it, but no worries, I'm waiting here. But the thing about, like, I thought was a really, really good example. If you force yourself to get comfortable with it, Alligator's mentality on this was really nice. He said he tries to embrace it, and he's got an hour and a half, or however long it takes him with the car, to make you love him as a tinter. So kicking up a casual conversation and try and just break the ice and really get them to appreciate you as a service will speak volumes about what you're doing. So you can go like, you can just dive in. Thought it was a really good way to look at it. I know it's hard, but it's a good way to look at it. Is this that same one? This is that same one. Put a tape line on the ground about 6 to 8 feet from your work and tell them not to go past the tape when watching. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Like, this is my space. Like, just so I can make sure I get everything set on your vehicle. If you could, like, you're more than happy to watch, just kind of like stay back behind the line. It's a good idea. Because there were like, you know, I've had this a handful of times. Where people are definitely kind of like on your business, but sometimes it's just like, they're initially like really impressed and just like had no idea how the whole thing goes. So they're kind of just like watching out of, like, wow. And then it starts to get boring. So they may not watch as closely. So yeah, if I'm not streaming, occasionally I have somebody walk back here, and then they'll ask me questions, and we'll talk and whatever. So Did Alligator ever get a shop finished up? I think the building is going to be done towards the end of the year. So I don't know how far along it is yet, but probably not yet. There's a brand new building being put together. That's where he's going to be opening up his shop. What cars are the most challenging to tint? Old ones. Honestly, like, you have your staple super curved windows, but honestly, the most challenging are old vehicles. With either butyl side seals or plastic gaskets. Not super fun. Windshield? No, not on this one. This is nice and easy going. I remember the stream where they were watching you through the window. Yeah, it still happens. I kind of want to put like a one-way film on that. So I don't mind people watching, but it's like I keep walking by that window, so I kind of feel like awkward when I look. Like you make that awkward like eye contact while you're working on it, but they're just trying to see what you're doing. I could black out that window if I really wanted to, but like, I don't know. I think the placement is kind of cool for like people to actually be there, be able to peek in and see what's going on with their car. And then you get more perspective than just the showroom too. So it's kind of like, oh wow, that's a big space back there. What did he do back there? But yeah, when you're working, let me clean this up a little bit. When you're working, and they're just trying to see what you're doing, and then you like look up, and they're like, ah, yeah, I'm doing something else back here, not trying to watch over you. But I could just black it out if I really wanted to. Do you like the orange side better on the hybrid or the blue side? I like both. I have a hard time telling the difference, honestly. So, the way I look at it, when one side kind of nicks up a little bit, I'll switch it over to the other side, and I'll also trim off some of the blade and make it straight again. Mazda RX-8. I don't remember if I have. I may have had one. I know it's got some buttons on the quarter windows. That's the rotary engine Mazda, right? Cool, sporty rotary engine one. Let me just do this one more time here. Yeah, to be honest, I don't remember if I ever did. It is a curved back window. You pants the film. Yeah, see this right here? This is my number one frustration where I put a bunch of water back there. I'll slide the film a little bit, and it'll pick one point somewhere in here, and it'll grab, and then the whole thing just, I slide it one way, I want to slide it back a little bit more the other way. It's just not happening. I mean, putting a light pinch in it, a little fold, like, don't sweat it. Just heat it up, press it out. You'll be totally good. If you don't like that, I mean, you can practice a little bit more, but the other way is then going to be bottom loading to where you don't have a pinch on the side. I have never... I can't think of one time that I've ever heated those little, like a little pinch or a little fold out in that area. I've ever had somebody come back and point something out there and go, hey, what's this? It's just a total, like, I don't know. It's been a total non-issue, so... Heat up the spots, press them out. You can get them to like completely flush, be completely gone. It's just part of touch-up. But it's up to you if that's okay or not. But yeah, they'll be there. Not every time. Nissan Altima top edge wasn't sticking. It's odd. Is it like when you rolled the window up, the film like would press, or like you just squeegee it down and it doesn't squeegee down? I don't know. Makes more sense the first thing, but... Yeah, it's just part of it. And it's like, even pointing it out does, it sounds like it's a bad thing, right? Like, oh, there's a crease there and you're trying to hide it. It's like, kinda. There's like an impression fold. And where it bends, it just doesn't lay flush while it's still wet. So then you dry it out, you press it down, and then everybody's all good. It's not like I'm leaving something there that you can then go back there and point something out. It's like everything's just gone. It's invisible. It all looks nice and flush. I think one of the reasons that also works is because we're tucking into a seal area, and so that seal is then pressed up right against the glass, where trying to press out like a similar fold or crease or something in the dead center of a window, like you could still go back and find an impression maybe on the inside somewhere. Here, they're just completely buried in the side seals, so you don't see any of that. But we're like nitpicking to the tiniest of degrees. The edges? Oh, I see what you mean. So you, on a windshield, you put it on the inside and then it started curling off the dots. What film were you using? I've had it happen too. Mm-hmm. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. What film? Geo-shield, of course. What Geo-shield? It's like saying, what car do you drive? I drive a Ford. Okay. A little bit more specific. I've had it happen once on Pro Classic. Best I could figure. I didn't press it down as much. You know they have like 3 ceramics right now. God damn it. I drive a 4-wheel drive Ford. I can't. What films do you use? Pro Nano ceramic? Okay. It's likely the window itself, not Pro Nano. So, I've had it happen once with Pro Classic, and Pro Classic has like the same adhesive system Pro Nano does. Best I could figure, it really wasn't locked down in that area. The other thing is, it was probably the window, so I squeegeed it what I thought was just as much as anything else. So on a Durango, I did the windshield. I thought everything was good. Customer is like, hey, yeah, there's seems to be like a problem with the windshield. And the way he described it was like, he didn't sound like a big deal. And he's like, yeah, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite stuck down. And it's like rolled off to here. And I'm like, oh my God. That's horrible. Yeah, man, like, no worries, super sorry. I'll definitely drop it off with me. We'll get it taken care of. And I just want it dropped off a little bit longer so I can then let it sit out in the sun. Did it a second time and didn't have that problem, and I used did that exact same roll. The only reason I'm really confident in saying that it's probably not the glue is because that is some of the tackiest glue on any film, period. It's a great system. So probably the glass. I've had it happen once on the Pro Classic. I'm slightly more concerned, like I'm keeping my eye out for people, anybody that's used the, what's it called? The Carbon Plus. If you guys, if anybody that's gotten that film, keep an eye out for the same thing. I installed it on my Blazer in the 50% on the windshield, and it all looks fine now. But within the first 5 minutes, it started doing that same thing. And I had to sit there and basically dry out all the edges, and I've tinted that window like 5,000 times. So I'm looking for people that say that they're going to have the same problem with that. But the Carbon Plus supposed to have the same adhesive as the C2, and I never had the same problem with the C2. So I don't know what the heck's going on. But I ended up putting Carbon Plus 35? Yeah, 35 on my front doors, 50 on the windshield. That is beautiful film. I don't think it shrank quite as fast as Pro Nano, but it's still, like I say the same thing about C2. C2 doesn't shrink as fast either, but still a very smooth, easy shrinking film, like easy going film. So I don't have any complaints about working with it, other than just a little like, why did the first one that I put in start rolling off the windshield? That scares the hell out of me. So I hope everything's good moving forward with it. I want to put it on a couple more things. But no haze issues. It blocks out a bunch of heat. There's one other thing that really has me confused, but that gets into like metering. I just wanted an amazing film that looks great and shrinks great and no problems. But I swear, there's always something. It's always something to make me scratch my head. I'm like, got no problems with Pro Nano. I think looks a little warm in some of the shades, a little warmer than I'd like, but still a great film. It's also a little bit tacky too, so that kind of drove me crazy too. There's always something. It's just always something. Every film that I've used, there's always like, but. Yeah. If you hand me 2 squeegees, though, back to the red line really quick. If you hand me 2 squeegees, wow. If you handed me 2 squeegees, these 2 squeegees, and you're like, pick your squeegee, which one do you like better? I'm gonna keep picking up this one. I like that it's got a little softness to it, and it forms to the film and the window rather than like really having to put a ton of pressure on it to get that same thing. But if you really want to feel like you squeezed every teensy little bit of water out, then you're going to want to use the red line instead. The hybrid is smoother. Uh-oh. Please, Tint Jesus, help me. I fucked up 3 whole rolls of tint on a window that has the stupid latch that won't allow it to kind of pop open. What's the window? How do you know when you're using too much soap? Your eyes will kind of start to hurt because there's so much soap in the air. And your film will never tack up in one place because there's just so much soap that no matter how much you squeegee it, it just ice skates all over the place. 2009 Honda Element. Have you honestly messed up 3 rolls of film trying to do it? I'm trying to think of what it is. I'll have to look it up. I get so used to the smell of baby shampoo that I don't really smell it anymore. But so there's actually my students got to experience too much soap in the beginning with their kegs because we put a lot of soap in, and on some of the kegs we just didn't shake them up, so it was like Soap City coming out of those lines right at the beginning. But generally speaking, those 2 things. If you like your eyes start to burn because there's so much soap, it's probably too much. But you want enough soap so your film slides around, and then when you go to just tack it in place, it might still slide a little bit, but for the most part, it tacks up when you need it to. So I use about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces per gallon of water. But it's No More Tears shampoo. Yeah. That was genius in their marketing department, but in reality, that's not what happens. What am I stepping on? Canon. Uh-oh. Let's see. Rear quarter of a 2009 Honda Element. If I can get a good picture. Can you use... That's not a bad picture. Like this middle window here? This middle one? Or the rear quarter? Or this one? Like, which one? These aren't hard. Can I zoom in as best I can? This looks like it has a ceramic border around the whole window. And then this one has a seatbelt in the way. Which one? Middle or very rear? Yeah, I use Dawn. I use Dawn and baby shampoo. Mixed. If you had a larger peel board, would it be more efficient to use the Sharpie method? Yes. Yes, it would. Yeah, the blue Dawn has been fine. That's generally a little bit more tacky. The baby shampoo is going to slide a little better. Mix both together, and it works really well for a lot of films. Is he still here, or is he gone? But yeah, I don't see the headache here. So if I can understand a little bit better, because you have the tabs on the inside, so you got the buttons on those windows. And the rear ones are just pretty straightforward. You just have the seatbelt in the way. So a little bit annoying trying to tuck behind the seatbelt, but got to be cutting in the wrong spot. I don't know. Yeah. Trying to find an inside picture, but Google Images is it's not exactly solid for getting real specific, and a lot of the pictures are like blurry. This one's a little bit better. Yeah, this is like, you're just gonna cut. Sorry, I had a phone call. Well, goddamn. We're trying to help you. Middle quarter with the latch. Does it not have a dot border around it, or what's up? Is it like a hard rubber edge all the way around? Because looks like this opens. It's all right. I mean, it looks like you can just cut along a nice ceramic border, just a little bit, open this window up, and then that's it. Like all your edges are covered. I don't know what's hard about this one. It has a gasket. It's just trimmed around the latch so it'll be able to open.
2007 Honda Element.
Oh, this
I
is
want
my
a Honda Civic,
favorite.
but I also want a box truck.
Happy Honda days. Oh, wait, that ended after Christmas.
This is a bachelor's SUV because
I love regular
despite
car
being
reviews.
a
They're
roomy,
amazing.
versatile cube, it only carries 4 passengers, as opposed to a 4Runner's standard 5, an optional 7, and the Jeep Commander's standard 7. You only get 4 people in here because, okay. This was during Honda's senioritis mid-2000s period where they were phoning in build quality.
I don't
See
know if he's going to
leaky
go over
Honda
these quarter
fits.
windows, but
But this Honda Element, what you're seeing is the opposite side of a car company's senioritis period. It's the senioritis where you just take a lot of electives and stuff you're interested in,
because he'll
like
talk about
creative writing.
He's not going to talk
music
about windows.
Heck, even with the seats in, the cargo capacity is conversion van cavernous. The rear suicide doors let you...
This looks like you have a border. You can just cut around this whole thing. So, like, I don't understand. Cut a circle if you need to get this closer, and then literally just cut around this whole border. And then you can just leave the window popped open, too, to give yourself a little bit more space. And, like, this border doesn't look any different from these rear window borders, though. So that's where I'm confused. Can you take a picture and post it in the Facebook group? And then let me know when you do that. Window tint stuff on Facebook.
You load...
Take a picture of the rear quarter. I want to see the inside. And see what space you have to work with. But that's as best as I can say right now. I'm not sure. It doesn't look crazy, but I can't really get a good perspective. And I definitely... I can't remember ever tinting an Element. It's such like a goofy vehicle, yeah, I agree. But I'd love to help you out. I just don't know. Not sure yet. Then we drag this window over here. Do you guys like how many icons I have on my desktop? And then we go... Regular car reviews was so funny, though. I haven't watched them in a little while, but... Yes, I can. I'll see what I can do. Awesome. It's a weird car, but it's kind of grown on me. Well, some of those are definitely made more for the people... I mean, they're all made for the people that own them, but, like, to some regard, it's like, when you own it and you're this certain type of person, I could see something like that, but... It's like a Prius, right? It's like everybody's like, ew, Prius. But there's reasons that you'd want to own one. Your desktop is a mess. I know. I think every time I go live, it saves a copy to my desktop right now. And then I recorded some extra videos too, so it's just a big giant mess. I have no idea how much space I have left on my computer. I gotta find out. Marty. Pro Classic. 20. So we did 35 in the front. We're doing 20 on the back. So be just like the Sportage. We're going to take a big old piece of film, slap it over here, and we're going to roll it in. It's good to have a couple examples of this. I'd rather just plot it, but hey, you don't have a plotter, this is what you're going to do. Okay, so we have to put it higher up so because it'll bow, so these corners need to cover all my edges. So the way that I cut these out is first we need to kind of make a line where the dots meet that spoiler. So you can just take it and just kind of like roll it in here. Just get it super up as high as you can in there. Little blade, and we're just gonna make a little poke up here, right in between the spoiler and the glass. And then we're gonna pull this back out. So this is where that point is. And then we're gonna cut straight down. This will make a relief cut. So then, when we roll this back in, what's cool is we start from the center and we work our way out. And you're just kind of making sure this film is rolled up there as you go. Because if you didn't make that relief cut, it's gonna pull. The film is gonna wanna yank all this, like as this is kind of rolling here, it's gonna pull the film off of here. It's gonna do this and then that and then, sorry I said that a lot. All right, pull that away. And then we go the other side over. Keep that film like kind of rolled up there, flattened out a little bit. Just go all the way across. Bam! Now you have your nice top edge. And if you want to make it a little easier to shrink, you could then pull this down and shrink it and then push it back up and shrink the bottom. So, at this point, let's just cut the rest of this out. Little rainbow for this. Then it drops under the spoiler. Sorry, wiper. That's not a spoiler. Why did you add 2 times glass aid on the small windows? You could have done 1 double cut. Yes, I could. I don't have a good answer for you, honestly. Habit. But yeah, you can definitely do it that way. Save on glass aid a little bit. I could cut once and then flip my other one, or just put them both on there and then take a light and then cut them out. I just did them individually because sometimes I like extra steps. Okay, now we need to shrink this, but hard part's over. Really, that one, I mean, it's not really a hard part, but that's how you tackle them. You can heat it right up to the spoiler. Everything I do has a purpose. Why did you do that? I don't know, I just felt like it. No, that one. Same thing with, like, you could double snap shrink your door windows too. There are a couple things that I just tend to do separately. I don't know. I actually don't have a good answer for you. But you can throw some heat up here. It's hard to see. But you can just kind of trail your finger along in here and just throw heat. Get that whole edge to lay down. And if you're a little bit shy on your heat, finish it up on the inside. Just to save me from moving it around a little bit. It's helpful to remove the wipers off the car, but a little trick, because here in Michigan, lots of snow and salt likes to make these wipers rust. So sometimes it's a little annoying. You can do one of 2 things. You can either take a little shank tool and put it in here, and on some it's totally fine, and some there's just plastic doesn't work in your favor that way. The other thing I'll do is literally take the extension cord from the heat gun and just throw it over my shoulder, and then I'll pull back the wiper that way and keep everything out of my way. Just leaves enough space so you can freely shrink underneath it. But yeah, if you just take it up, take it completely off, that's the easiest. I think the quickest is just what I did there, though. Because when it comes to like a Golf, those wipers will just stand straight up and stay out of your way. When it comes to all the American SUVs, they don't make their wipers as smart. They all just kind of get in your way, so take them off. Cutting on glass, I'll go back to its harder blade though, or the stainless steel. The thin blade squiggles a lot. So for top edges and really exact cuts, it's very nice. Cutting here, yeah, I'll just go back to stainless. Or just a thicker blade. You'll know when you start using the thin blades. They're just thin, so they squiggle a little bit more. The new Mercedes does the same thing. Aww. Well, I guess not all the foreign ones are smart then. Most of them were. I'm late. What's the 20 versus 35? Oh, I just kind of wanted to show it at the end. I always do 20 and 35. But showing shade differences, just when we get this all tinted, being able to see like a clear contrast between the two for people that are kind of shopping around for what to get on their cars. That's why I have my Blazer tinted in 20 and 35 outside. For me, it's my most common question. Should I go with 20 or 35? I don't know. Which one do you like better? Here are both. And it's like, oh, I like that. Whatever you tint, it's kind of funny too. Whatever you tint your main demo car in, that's kind of what you install the most of. So if you just go with something you like. So a lot of other people will be like, oh, I like that too. Then it'll become your most popular. Do you need to cover a fuse box on an 18 Challenger? Like BCM, I think. On the Challenger, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 99% sure that it is in the passenger kick panel, similar to like the Chargers. I think that might be where the Durango is too. I'd use a soak rope, soak shield, and a dash towel and just make it as covered as I possibly could. I think you have to take apart that lower kick area to do anything about it, though. So on the Rams, it's really easy to get to. On some of these other ones, it's tucked in more like you would expect. be careful on those. What's the link to the glass cleaner you use? Link to the glass cleaners you use. To be honest, I don't have a link to the glass cleaners. Sprayway. Wait. Like actual glass cleaner or something else? What's the glass cleaner you use with the good tips? With the good tips. You're talking about like actual glass cleaner or you're talking about something else? What are you using on that to scrub the blue sponge thing? Oh, so the blue sponge thing, this is Tri-Edge Scrub It. You can find these Sun Distributing. Okay. So an actual glass cleaner bottle. This is just Sprayway. They sell this in a ton of stores. So like Meijer, Walmart, Home Depot now has it. So I don't know. This stuff is super, super good. Yesterday I just put a ton on a rag, wiped it all off, and I swear the more I used, the like more streak free the window got. So don't be shy with it. I'm looking for my clay bar. Where did I put that? Oh, it's on the... Is it? Oh, yes, it is. Ha. That's what I'm looking for. Now we can continue. And then these are the scrub pads that I like to use. Those are by Tri-Edge. I'm gonna check Home Depot again. You know what? It'll save you a trip too. You can go on their website and then literally search your store and they'll tell you exactly where it is too. Ooh, I can literally see black shit being pulled off of the defroster line. What kind of torch do you use? I use the T8000 Burns-O-Matic. It's how I find anything in those stores because they're all different. I go to like a couple of different ones. I always check ahead of time to make sure that they have something that I need. And then I know exactly where to go. I love walking around those stores though. But trying to find anything in those places is just like, good God. It's too much. Torch. I don't know. It's sitting. Oh, there it is. TS8000. This tip is the one to get. Don't get the other little puny one. Get this one. So, nice big open flame on the top. I have propane here, but MAP gas works really well. It's hotter. How often do you change out your scrub pads? I just ordered 10 from Sun Distributing. Just toward when they start to feel scuzzy. You can use a scrub pad for a while. You'll generally like not use a scrub pad after you've used it for glue removal. On a lot of cars, like they start to compress, they start to wear out, kind of like your sink scrubbies and stuff. Like when it starts to get kind of gross, that's when I won't use it anymore. I'll flip it around too, so I'll use both sides of them and just get a little bit longer use out of it. But you'll kind of know. I don't know how many plates you can scrub with your kitchen scrubby, but I can tell you when to replace it. The same thing here. 21 questions. I love the chat. Everyone is genuinely interested in learning. I know, they're pretty great, aren't they? Just like nice, thoughtful discussions, questions, not just like, blah, 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 blah. We like to joke around from time to time, but president, no. Yeah, there's no dumb questions here. I like the questions, because the questions keep the discussion going, too. Sometimes when we get to this point, it gets really quiet, because, like, a lot of people have already asked what they had for the day. So the more questions that I get, the more it stirs up an interesting conversation. I just want stuff to talk about. Soapy water from the keg. And if I missed your question, just ask it again. I try and get as much as I can. But when I talk, I don't hear the comments as much because I'm trying to talk over you guys buzzing in my ear. Best film. Best film to shrink easily. Shrinking is not an easy thing to learn. I think Pro Classic will give you every chance in the world of trying to learn how to shrink. Tint Depot has some really good films too. So like their 5-year carbon, or sorry, their 5-year dyed film will save you a little bit of money. Superior Charcoal is going to be very similar to this Pro Classic film. All my students were here, and like they all had trouble shrinking. So this will give you every chance in the world of succeeding, but shrinking is just not an easy thing to do. But it can be. So we got that corner a little bit. Where's this one? What about the Lowe's tape? Is that double-sided? No, it's single-sided house wrap tape. I get that question a lot now. It's hidden in Lowe's. Check on their website. It's over by the plywood and stuff, but check on their website. Or ask somebody in Home Depot. Or sorry, in Lowe's. You're not going to find Lowe's tape at Home Depot. Or you can get like Tyvek house wrap tape at Home Depot. But obviously Lowe's is sold at Lowe's. You're the best YouTuber. Thank you. Did we already talk about Carbon Plus? A little bit, yeah. So I put it on my windshield. I think it's a beautiful shrinking film. It looks really, really good. I love a lot about it.
Cody Romero super chatted $4.99.
I just had one concerning thing happen.
Such a great host on
that
his live
I don't know if
streams.
anybody else has had happen yet. So after I installed it, it started to curl off of the bottom edge and the side edges. That was on my Blazer. And I've tinted that Blazer window like 1,000,000 times. So it's supposed to have the same adhesive system. Hang on, I'll get to the super chat in just a second. Thank you so much. But as for the Carbon Plus, though, it just has me a little bit concerned when you see a film, you put it on the glass and it curls off. Because if that happens on a much harder back window, down in the lower corners and stuff, it's going to be such a pain in the ass to fix. So I got to try it on a couple of other things But as far as heat rejection, color, I mean, I drove home with it, driven around with it some. It's nice. It's really, really nice. I love the color on it. And as far as I can tell, it blocks out just as much as Pro Nano does. It's really, really solid. Cody with the 5, thank you. Too much, Matt, for being such a great host on his live stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate the 5. Well, it's a learning channel, so I try and answer as many questions as possible, and when we got lots of questions going, it gets a little busy. I don't catch everything, but if you kind of wait for like some of those pauses in the chat, that's a really good time to like sneak a question in and make sure it gets answered. But I try and get to everything, so don't be shy to ask it again. There we go. So yeah, I just did one on both sides. Could have just flipped it, mirrored it, and then it would have been just as good. It's a little harder to see the line though, but small thing. What handle do you recommend on a keg? Mine sprays too much water everywhere. Do you use the brass sprayer? What sprayer do you use on the keg? I mean, so this is the fan tip. Kegs put out a lot of water. You just move a little faster and mist it a little bit more. Maybe like more like that. A little bit more pressure gives you a finer spray. And if you use the cone tip, you can do a finer mist too. So that'll help control your water a little bit. Where'd you get it and what sprayer are you using? Is this your first shop? Yeah, probably my only one. Matt with the autograph tri-edge, thanks again. Oh, thanks for the order, man. You're welcome. Glad you got it. This is one of the few small SUVs where they actually did not tint the rear windows. Like they're not factory they're not factory privacy. It's kind of odd. Can you vinyl wrap cars too? No, not really. I mean, I've played around with some graphics, so, but I've never done full wraps. I think as a business, it's healthy. Like if you are going into those services, you should know mostly how to do them yourself. But you want to hire the guy that really knows how to do it. Or teach the guy, and that's his full-time thing. Because if I'm to jump between tint and wrapping and paint protection film, you need the way you, like I'm gonna make basically the same amount of money as just tinting, if not potentially more money tinting, depending on what I charge and how many jobs I do, because I specialize in it. Being a jack of all trades, then what is the saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. I really think there's a lot of value in specializing in stuff. So it'd be convenient, and I have more sales if I did a couple extra services and stuff, but I would definitely have to pay somebody to do it. Then you have to grow that side of the business too. Each one of those things is its own thing. And is a lot of work. a lot of work to get off the ground. You're working hard hours. You're working long hours. You're doing a lot. I've seen and heard stories. More power if you want to do that and grow that business, and you'll be better off for it in the long run. Because then your company gets known for more things. You do more cars. You make more money. But you're managing more things too, right? You're managing a team of people. Would you consider doing it down the road? Sure, I'll consider it, but I probably won't do it. If I had a lot of people asking me, like, taillights, wrapping hoods, doing this, doing that, rather than the occasional one, then I know it's probably a good path to pursue. But I get the very occasional, like, hey, do you do, like, chrome trim blackouts and, like, here and there? Most people are calling, they want tint. So I stay in that because that's what I like to do. I don't really want, I don't want like a big blown up business. Anyone local to Lexington, Kentucky have a shop to do my car? I'd like to support others. Oh, there you guys go. Anybody in Lexington? Somebody's looking for a job. Hell yeah. I've been asking my own clients, like some of them are going for paint corrections, and I've been asking like, hey, where are you going? Because those are the people that I'm going to refer to, because those are trusted people from my own clients. Drive to Cincinnati and I'll do it. I live an hour from there. I kind of never looked at this channel early on as a local business thing. It was more of like a open world resource, because I wish I had a product that I could ship out to people. I mean, I got the tools and stuff now, but like, I mean, I wish my main service was something that I literally could ship out to anybody watching on the channel. That would have been really, really cool. Cincinnati is an hour and a half. Worth it to me for a good job? Oh, dang. Look at that. You might get a client off of this. See, that's what I think really is special about my my Facebook group too. But there's a lot of tinters that don't seem to really understand that. They go like, "Hey, why are consumers in here posting questions about the jobs that they get? They should ask the companies that they went to." Why not? Why not get more opinions? I've seen people literally pull jobs out of that group. The more you intermix and spread a bunch of knowledge, I think it works out better. But there's so many like, no, we can't give our secrets away. Whatever. Matt, you tint? No. Definitely not. That's not what we're doing right now. We're detailing. I don't know. What are we doing, guys? Now I'm going to confuse somebody with these. Somebody's going to get this one day. Somebody's going to get this vehicle one day to, like, tint the back darker. Like, this guy will sell it, and then somebody else will get this, and then they'll be like, hey, I want to tint the front to match the back, because it's a little lighter than the back. Or I want to tint the whole thing darker. Yeah, no problem. And then when they look really, really close, they're like, oh my God, this looks factory. But it's not. Do you do limo? Yeah, for sure. How do you see out after sundown? It's always easier sitting on the inside looking out. This was actually a giant, I think, misconception that I didn't really understand till that whole clear on the inside, dark on the outside thing blew up. But this is something that, like, ever since we've been tinting, this is just how it is. Like, your light source is on the outside of the car. And I understand, like, sundown is darker than daytime, but you still have street lamps, headlights, stopping lights. You still have exterior lights. So I don't do 5% on the front, but if you want to look at what a vehicle looks like now on the outside and then I hop inside, it's just going to look like it's much lighter to see through. Even though it's the same, like I could flip the tint, install it on the opposite side, it's still gonna look the same on both sides. But when you just like, here, I'll pick up a slide and I'll show you. So this is the film that we're installing, and these are all the shades. So when it's against the surface here, 5% obviously looks dark, but then when you pick it up and carry it around, you can really see the contrast, like, oh, 20? 20 doesn't really seem all that dark, huh? It's not when you just start jumping down all the way to 5 that it's like, oh, okay, when it's really dark outside, that's what's really difficult. 20? 50? 35? Like, they're all so close. And then take them outside, and it's even lighter appearing, but then these are those same shades. 20, 35. Oh, that's my next TikTok. Thank you. Turn most of the lights off. It's still hard to give you a really good perspective because the camera's gonna adjust a little bit. I gotta go all the way over here to do it. But really, 20%, it's what's on most trucks and SUVs. I don't know how dark I can really make this place without a ton of effort, but oh yeah, we got those. There. That'll help a little bit. So let's say like late night, evening, right? Like, still, these are the shades. And that's kind of what you're looking through. So I don't go any darker than this on the windshield. So that's what we got on the front door. And you can see the contrast between the front door and the back door. I mean, when you're going down a dark road and your windows aren't tinted, it's hard to see out of the sides anyways because there's not much light outside. So it's not going to really fix much for you. But when you're in a practical area, like the difference between 35 and 20, like they can look so similar when you're sitting on the inside. But when you get on the outside, .35, you start putting layers together because we're looking straight through. I can still see through the 20, but when I stand up a little bit more, you see more silhouettes. 35, you can start to see, I can see steering wheels and stuff, where here, I can't really see details on the back of the seats or anything. This, I can actually see some of the interior, who's sitting in the car. So, most people will either do this look or they'll do 20% all the way around. That's why we get so many like front door to match the rears. But I think this is actually like a really good TikTok here. Shade comparison. What's the difference? That's the difference. So with 5, you're blocking out 95% of the visible light. 20, you're blocking out 80%. So it really isn't like on the spectrum. It isn't until you start getting down to like the 50. 50, 35, 25. These last ones, 35 to 20, 20 to 10 or 15, it's still pretty similar, but like 20 to 5. That last little bit really pushes it far over the edge. But my light is on the outside. Cabin isn't lit up. That's why it all looks dark. Same thing for a house. You can tint a house, and during the daytime you can't see in. But during nighttime, if you don't have exterior lighting, you can see in the house. Yep, I hit a tree. I hit a tree with 5% on my full windshield. Is there anything darker than 5%? No. Is there anything darker than 5%? Yes, there is. There's companies that'll sell like 1%, 2%. Tint Depot has a 2% that they're sending me, actually. So we can check that out. It'll be darker than 5% by 3%. Tired of the we want ceramic tint. We want ceramic tint, the kind that's dark on the outside but clear on the inside. It gets annoying, but having people calling about ceramic is amazing. I fully endorse riding that trend. So, you recommend limo tint all the way around? No. If you want, amazing. We set it down and we lost it. It's up to you. I recommend to go with what you want to go with. So I have a demo vehicle literally sitting outside that has 35 in the front, 20 on the rear, 50 on the windshield to give a nice perspective. So from this angle, it honestly looks like the front doors are the same shade as the rear doors. But then you go on the side of it, and the rear doors are a little bit darker than the front doors because perspective. Then when you go on the front and look through, those front doors look a lot lighter because we're looking now through a clear windshield. I recommend driving around with whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you want the most amount of privacy, you're going with 5%. This dark, I can still see through it, but it does make it a little bit harder to see out of. 20% or 15 gives me a good amount of privacy. It's what's on most trucks and SUVs. And it's still a lot easier to see through than this one is. And then 35, you start to see shapes, you see some colors, see some of the interior. You can still tell that it's tinted because this is an untinted windshield, and if you can't tell the difference, then I can't help you. And you can go as light as 50, which you might think like, whoa, that is basically clear. Why would I do that? Okay, we're gonna take a little trip. And my microphone's probably not gonna work, so this is gonna be real quick. Let's take a little trip. That's what it looks like. This, that. This one. All right. I wasn't really trying to talk either because I figured the mic would probably break up a lot. But did you see that difference there? 50 on the windshield was lighter lighter than this. It was too bright. Oh, the exposure was all busted. No! Canon. Totally washed out. I think I know why. Oh, I'm so sorry then. Because I really want to show you guys a nice contrast. I can pull it in. Oh, yeah, it's super. Oh, yeah, super washed out. Gotcha. Sorry about that. The, oh, look at that. See that? That's nice. There, now you can read the numbers. Darkness! Charlie Murphy. That's right. That's what you need. It's really good to have an... here's what I'll do. I'll probably do a TikTok comparison. I'll pull this one out and maybe do a comparison. I think that's a really helpful video, though, showing literally, like, the main shades and what that translates to on the car, and then also what a 50% windshield actually looks like versus this. Because this is a very similar looking vehicle, like white, mid-size SUV, same size, that type of stuff. So if you're trying to pick shades, you look at them side by side, they all look confusing, and then this one is literally 35 in the front doors, 20 on the back. What? That looks the same. No, it doesn't. Looks good. Yay. Who would have thought? That would be a nice TikTok video. I appreciate you guys asking these questions because then they give me video ideas. I haven't posted for like weeks now. I was like a TikToker, and now I'm a dead TikToker. Oh shit, what happened? GME's going up again. Do you see the crap that they pulled yesterday? Sorry, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I have these up front, and anytime that I have a client come in, I show them these, and I go, is there anything, have you had tint before? What shades are you thinking of? This is factory privacy on most vehicles, so you've probably seen this a lot, but let me take you outside to my Blazer, and then this will put a lot of context in it instead of like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, super handy. I felt like that. I like the chocolate bunny one and the glass cracked with the clown face. I felt like that clown face. I was so sad that the glass cracked on that one because I knew I didn't have enough time to explain what happened there. So it's in the comments, but then people see them like, oh, I just don't want my glass to crack. Yeah, I wouldn't want it to either. But that one did really well. So, hey, make a follow-up. You know, I almost wish this was tinted in like 20 and 5%. That way I could, because they'd be side by side, and you could have a couple of different windshields. Ooh, I could do two. I could do two TikToks, I think, with this. I could do a 50% windshield, and then a clear. Like, what does a 50% windshield look like versus a clear? It's not a bad idea. Do I do it outside? No, I got to do it outside. Okay, I got a good idea. I got to make a couple of TikToks. These are good. Good consumer questions. What shades should I get on my car? Write them down. Yeah, and you guys should do them too. Let me know how they go. Like, seriously. Profile, there we go. All right. Here, let me just take a trip over. So I haven't posted anything, so it hasn't been growing much. So we're at 2,500 followers, which doesn't mean much, especially in TikTok land. Followers don't really mean anything. A good video is a good video, and a bad video is a bad video. You can have millions of followers, a bad video just doesn't get shown. So the more consistently you put out good videos, the more views that they're going to get across the board. Like this crazy one doing this one doing 4.5 million, which is awesome. People are genuinely curious about shades. So, yeah, these are I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 total. And I mean, I had 0 followers. So this is what's so impressive about this platform is just the amount of exposure any one particular thing can get. It can be very short exposure, but some things can build trends. You do them for your business. People are finding local TikToks, which is interesting. So this has good potential for your own company. I would definitely put a lot of effort into it. And anybody can do it. So we started this, I don't know, like a couple months ago, I think, at this point. So the bunny's done almost 1 million. This one's done 4.5. And then these recent ones did over 100,000 each. So it's been really, really cool to see. It's just like window tint PSAs. Like, that's what's crazy about it, too. It's just like general information about window tinting. That's what my TikTok is about. So, Detroit Tint Studio on TikTok. We'll have a couple of them posted. And we'll see. Is YouTube Shorts... oh, yeah. YouTube Shorts, their answer to TikTok? Absolutely. Yep. They saw that, and they're like, we need to do this. You will see this time and time again with platforms. Stories, like all these features, when a major feature blows up, a platform then looks at that and goes, yoink. Let's see how we can put a twist on it. What's really interesting, though, is TikTok has built up such a big organic interest platform. So much like YouTube, where you can go to search for basically anything that you want to learn, TikTok will give you snippets of that. And they automatically play, where YouTube is a little bit more decision-based. TikTok's now playing around with longer format video. It's kind of like this TV thing, where it's like when you put on a channel on TV, or you can just skip through and things are automatically playing. YouTube will recommend you stuff that they think you want to see, but it's a little bit more decision-based. People just want to not even think about it and want to just see stuff that they want to watch. It's really, really interesting. So just big differences between the two. TikTok's making big ground, for sure. It'll be really, really interesting. The most discoverable platform by far, period, right now. YouTube's, I think, a close second, but YouTube takes a lot of work. Just had the car yesterday, and that dot being under the third brake light was so annoying. The dots under what kind of car was it? I hate that autoplay crap, though. I also hate shorts. Won't let you turn down the volume. Really? You should be able to just turn down the volume of your phone, but interesting. It's not going to be for everybody, but that's where especially the younger generation is right now. So business in this day and age, you got to put effort into all of those, or else somebody else will. All right, let's shout out some super dupers. This was a fun one still. Oh my God, I got rid of it. Where's my dashboard? Oh, I think it's on the dashboard. That's where it is. Activity feed. Okay, so big shout outs to some super duper people. Cody, Nick, DC Customs, Omar the Goat. Thank you guys so much for the support today. I really, really appreciate it. How's the baby? Oh, thanks for asking. He's doing really good, especially in the past couple weeks. Like, he's always learning something different, and like just a couple week difference is huge. He's starting to talk a lot more along with like songs that play on the TV, and then he'll come up to you and want to do like, he'll do a lot of clapping, he'll do like little things from the songs, and just like he wants you to do them with him, or he'll come sit next to you while he's doing it. Like, it's just A lot more bonding. He's really, really cute. So, yeah, super cool. And then we bring him here from time to time. I was saying this yesterday. He loves steering wheels. He absolutely loves steering wheels, especially on cars. So I haven't put him in a client's car, but like, so when we were here cleaning up the shop for the class, like, and every time we get in the van, he like wants to go over to the steering wheel, and then he'll just sit on your lap and just have a blast. It's just really, really cute. Really, really cute. When will the baby start to tint? I don't know. Maybe when he takes a squeegee and instead of like like he'll actually put it on something rather than just trying to shove everything in his mouth. Maybe then. What's an easier way to start a Prius engine to charge the battery other than putting it to the drive? I have no idea. I will make a mini pouch for Tint. Oh, that would be super cute. Yeah, he's growing up fast, though. Right now, like, he can definitely walk. He can run around. He's climbing on things. Yeah, he's just kind of going all over the place. What will be his first squeegee? Something that's a little safe. I don't know, maybe like a handled squeegee. Because anything with like sharp edges is always a little bit concerning. But like, I mean, putting orders together and stuff, like he'll pick up tools and like spin them and mash them around on the floor and stuff like that. So he's like handled some of them, but yeah, everything with a sharp point is a little concerning. Don't want him to run around and fall on it or poke his eye or something. When is the next one? We actually have a really cool car coming in. We have a Mustang Mach-E coming in tomorrow. So, never seen one outside of just on the road. I haven't seen one up close in person, so it'll be fun. I don't know if we're doing the full windshield either, but I'm assuming we're doing all this. We're doing all the sides in the rear and possible windshield, so. My next green tri-edge needs to be signed by Lucas. Maybe I'll have him sign it. Got a 91 Cadillac for ceramic, $475. Do you think that's too much? Are you doing a windshield? No, I don't think that's too much. I'm $450 on like every car for ceramic, and that doesn't include the windshield. The older you get, you have to charge for that time because those cars will then take you an hour, 2 hours, and more material longer, easily. Oh, wait, that's a Celica. Sorry, I thought it was an old Cadillac. 91 Celica? I don't think no. Charging more for older cars, not a problem. What's a 91 Celica look like? Oh, okay, I see it. I don't think it'll be all that hard, honestly, from looking at it. If it's kind of the ones, I don't know. It's kind of showing me a lot of options here. I know it's not this later silver one. Let me really quick before I sign off here. I'm guessing it's like this one. But I don't think it'll be too hard to do. But look, you're not entirely sure what you're getting into, and you're covering all your bases, and the client is happy with paying it, and you're going to turn out a good job. If your clients are happy with paying your prices for something like that, I would never feel bad about charging more. It's just you're charging what you feel is appropriate for the job, so that's awesome. When you get into these older cars, when you get into stuff that you're unsure of, having that buffer there to make it worth your time, because it's like you're kind of like, it should be fine. I'm kind of learning as I go. You take a win on some of those, you take a loss on some of those. Look at it like a big pool. I don't think there's any problems there. I always charge more on older cars. Like when it gets beyond a certain point, especially on stuff that I'm, like, okay, for example, I did a 95 Porsche 924. Not the 944, which is even harder. The 924. Let me show you what that one is. Maybe it's a 928. 928? Does that help? Ah, this one. Yep, this one right here. This actually has a very tall back window, taller than a 40-inch roll. Didn't know that. It's got these funky rear quarter gasket windows, and it's got these weird doors, and we did a full windshield. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly what I charged, but I 100% charged more for this one. And it took me most of a day. So yeah. You never know when you're going to get into something quite like that, especially when you go into those older models. Totally good. Alrighty, so we'll be back tomorrow. We got a Mustang Mach-E. So I don't know what I'm getting in entirely for that, but I imagine it's pretty straightforward. I don't know. I know Frameless. So we'll see. We'll see tomorrow about 10-ish Eastern, like we did today. So y'all have a good one. I got to go make a couple TikToks and deliver this one. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Bye-bye.